everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is called Press for Pressed, and so it's a channel that's ultimately dedicated to promoting a store that I just launched via Shopify called Pressed. Okay, and so Pressed is a press-on nail business or whatnot. It's a business where you can actually purchase very high quality press-on nails for a very affordable price. Just to let you know a little bit in terms of why I launched this store. I really, love aesthetics. Anything that's aesthetically pleasing, I love it. Okay, if you guys follow astrology, when I was born, like in my natal chart, the moon was in the sign of Libra. And so the moon represents the emotional a part of your personality that makes you feel safe and secure. Oftentimes it's referred to as the mother of your natal chart in astrology. So the moon is about beauty. It's about refinement and aesthetics. It's about justice. And so I really wanted a company that promoted that. And so I feel that it is justified because the manicures that I provide, the press-ons I provide, you can get them at a fraction of the cost of what you would, get at a salon. Like I took one of my, I took one of my, my creations, one of my sets to a salon, a couple of salons actually. And so they were telling me, oh, I would charge between $100 to $150 for something that I would charge $49 for on my, actually in my store. So, really, to be honest with you, I feel like people are going to get more than their money's worth as it pertains to these, these full sets that I'm selling. And then they're very aesthetically beautiful. I've been looking at a lot of work that people do with press-on nails, and I believe in being creative. I feel like my sets are very creative, but they're not sets that are going to be like, oh, the first thing that people are going to notice about you are your nails. I feel like everything, that involves beauty has to be done in balance. And so, they're nails that are going to make you stand out, but it's going to make everything else about you accentuate. Your hair, your makeup, your clothes, what have you. It's going to be something to kind of make everything come together, as opposed to these kind of like, sometimes really super duper creative styles. I'm not knocking those, but my particular store, my particular style and way of creating press-on nails is not necessarily as extravagant per se. Okay, so I focus mainly the balance of aesthetics with quality. It's going to be something that is like, again, like my nails right now, they're very, you can hear them, popping, you know what I mean? So they're very much, sturdy. They're very sturdy. And so, I wanted to provide that. So these nails should last you about 2 to 3 weeks, if not more. All you have to do is just file your natural nail and take some adhesive and the nails that I sell, they do have like a plastic adhesive inside the nail, but behind the nail, right? But, I would remove that to replace it with some nail glue, some really strong nail glue, even super glue that actually works, because a lot of the chemicals and super glue is what you would find in nail glue. And so super glue actually is what I use. And really that actually lasts for about, 2 to 3 weeks, if not more. And so I very much encourage you to, look at my store. It saves time and money, because when you go to a salon, you're going to have to drive there. That's gas money. Time is money nowadays. And so think of what you could do within an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours in the salon, when you can actually just stay at home and just buff your regular nail and just, apply them. And then get more than what, for your money. Because when I would go to the salon, I would get like these, I would get these very basic gel manicures, and I would just get a foil on one of the nails, and it would run me about $80, and with tip it would be like $90 to $100. And so I said to myself, okay, these don't last. I would actually get lifting at the base of my nail. And so I said to myself, okay, getting lifting or whatever, that's not, to me, if I pay that much money and I go out of my way to go to the salon and make appointments, I shouldn't experience that. And so I would get these lifting, situations, and I would try to put glue underneath to kind of press it down at the base, and then the glue would get all kinked up on there. But, press-ons are actually what is it, glued from base to tip. And so because of that, if they do pop off, all you have to do is just file your natural nail down again, and make sure that you file the inside of the nail, right? The press on nail, to make sure that any glue or residue, you can take that off, and then just, press them back on. You don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to pay extra money for repairs. And also too, at the salon, they would put the acrylic or the monomer directly onto my natural nail. So if the nail snagged on something and it broke or whatever, it would actually hurt like hell. I was like, oh wow, this is just not good. And so really my product, it really eliminates all of that. It eliminates all of that. You get something high quality. It's just something I feel that, you would really, really love, you would really enjoy. And, I really enjoy, like I said before, doing things that are very creative and things that are very, very much about aesthetics. In my career or whatnot, my career was really, about a lot about creativity and so forth. But, I decided, maybe I need to step into something that embraces that a little bit more, and I really had fallen on hard times, and I technically became homeless at one point. And I was saying to myself, wow, I've worked so hard, and I've gone to school or whatever and become, very educated or whatnot. And I said to myself, wow, I give 110% to everything that I do, and I never thought something like that would happen to me or someone like me. And so it really goes to show that, when people are hard on their luck, that it is not necessarily anything to do with the effort that they put into something. It's just the circumstances. And so I'm really trying to kind of build myself up, and I'm really trying to step out there and do something that's kind of like outside of my comfort zone. And I really would appreciate your your support and so forth. And I feel like you would never be disappointed with these creations that I have. And so they're reusable. Like I said before, you can actually, put them back on. You can actually put them back in a nice case, after you use them, and you can kind of use them interchangeably. I would hate at the salon, I'd have to wait like 2 to 3 weeks to get them off and soaked off before I can actually get a new set. But you can purchase multiple sets. And so if you're tired of one set in a week, you can, take them off, file them down, replace them, put them in and put another set in, and you can kind of use them interchangeably without, so you can't really do that to a salon set. To a salon set, you have to soak them off because the monomer is applied directly to your natural nail. Okay. Let me see what else I want to mention. So there's a link in the description to go to my Shopify store, and you will find the selections. And so, it pretty much tells you, it's pretty, self-explanatory or whatnot. And you just, click on what you want, and you just add it to your checkout. And then when you check out, you're good to go. And so you can get an express checkout, or you can get like a regular standard checkout or whatnot, or shipping, I should say, delivery. And so I know that you guys probably want to get an express checkout because they're just so fly and they're so poppin'. And so, I have a lot of like Louis Vuitton and Chanel, Hello Kitty. I have like some spring sets on there, some jelly sets on there. A lot of charms, rhinestones, and things like that, but not too much. Like I said, my style is not over the top. It has more of a balance to it. So I try to balance the quality with, the quality with the aesthetics, if you will. Okay. So if you go like to stores like Shein or, I don't know, what is it, Temu or whatnot, a lot of people get their press-ons from there, but they're not going to last very long. Even if you use if you glue it with, super glue or nail glue, whatever the case is, you file your nail down, it's not going to be as sturdy as these, so you can't reuse those, but you can reuse mine. And so, I have a set of nails that I did maybe like, I don't know, like a couple of months ago. I still have them. They look brand new, So you're not going to actually find that at a salon. You're going to pay a fraction of the cost. Okay. So I think that's all I wanted to cover or whatnot. I do a set of 10. And so you'll have to, they're actually sized out according to small, medium, large, and large. And so, if you actually say you have a pair that aren't exactly, like, you know, fit perfectly, because, you know, when they even say you know, Pairs and Temu or Shein or whatnot, sometimes you do have to file it down. So I have a tutorial in terms of how to file your nails down a little bit so you can make sure they fit perfectly within your nail bed. And yeah, that's pretty much, you know, pretty much it. It has a tutorial about reusing them and how to take care of them. You know, it's, you know, I feel like it's a great, you know, it's a great value. And so my videos I'm going to post every week are different creations that I do. I'm going to showcase them or whatnot. Like after this video, I'm going to showcase a pair that I've done. And so you can just go right, there's a link to, you know, to get to that particular pair or whatnot. And so you can just go directly to my store and you can just purchase it or whatnot. And like I said, I know that people will be like, wow, you know, where'd you get your nails done? Whatever the case is, da, da, da. You know, guys, maybe you want to purchase some for your girlfriend, you know what I mean? And say, hey, you know, this came from Courtney Shopify store, and you know, she's really trying to kind of get things off the ground. I want to support her or whatnot, and so this is something I did for you, and it's a good gesture to help somebody to, you know, get into business and stuff like that. So I really would appreciate, guys, if you know, if you would support, okay? You won't be disappointed. All right, guys, so that's for me. So I will see you in the video for my merchandise. All right, have a good night.